Hello, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm doing my first review, so I'm really excited. And I'm doing it on Iyanla's Fix My Life episode with two women by the name of Miss Kenitra. I'm looking at my notes. I hope that I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Miss Kenitra and Miss Lauren. This episode was wonderful. I was really impressed by these women, really remarkable women. The fact that they were able to go on national television and to tell their story and to do the work and to be scared in the process. Miss Lauren will talk about her later in greater detail. You could clearly see battling depression because there was this affect that was just, she was not in touch with herself. But in spite of that, she scratched the surface in this episode and began to do her work. I was really impressed. And Miss Kenitra as well, her ability, I wish we could have seen more of her. And maybe it was just editing. I could really tell that she was really engaged. You saw, maybe it was day two, when Iyanla comes in and she leans in. You could tell she just wants to take it all in. She was really engaged in the process, and so I had tremendous respect for these women. And it touched the area inside of me because when I used to work internationally and used to do HIV/AIDS programming, and the particular group that we would work with would be commercial sex workers, and um, I was always really impressed, and we'll get into this as we talk more about the episode. But I was so appreciative that Iyanla did this to really highlight the skills that they had, because I was always impressed when I was working abroad and I was working with women who were in the sex industry, what keen skill sets they had, you know, great negotiation skills, real business savvy, as Iyanla said, determination, great discernment, great discernment. And I would always be baffled. And I don't know why I would be baffled, because I always regarded these women as super intelligent. But when I worked internationally, there were restaurants or bars that women who were commercial sex workers, they would be located in, and their ability just to, when a person walked in, male or female, and really understand and really have discernment about if this person is going to be a problem, if this person is not, they could always assess really well what the outcome was going to be. And that was always really important to me. And negotiation skills, and to de-escalate situations, because there were situations, when there's a lot of alcohol. And this was the environment that I was in when I worked internationally. And like I said, around certain restaurants or around certain bars, a lot of activity would be happening. And so particularly like in the bars where, people are drinking and things can get escalated. These women really had great skill sets of really, calming situations down. So needless to say, because I working internationally and the respect that that I had for women who had made the decision to work in the sex industry, Miss Kenitra and Miss Lauren, the same respect for them, because I know, to a slight degree, some of the things that they have to endure, and so just truly a lot of respect. So getting into the episode, what I really appreciated, we start with Miss Kenitra. And one of the things that I really appreciated that Iyanla did in this episode was to allow Miss Kenitra to understand where she may have gotten things a little wrong, right? So Kenitra holding on to the fact that she got pregnant when she was 16. And at the age of 16, family disappointed with her, her mother disappointed with her, the mother leaves the home. And so, of course, Kenitra has to find a way to take care of herself and her baby. And Iyanla so beautifully, because here it is, this woman who has taken that on herself, that it was her fault, it was her responsibility. Iyanla's like, have you ever considered that you were not supported in the way that you needed to be, and that you were abandoned? And I was so glad that Iyanla was able to help her to process that. Because, and it's vital for all of us to be able to look at our lives and to say, hey, there may have been a decision that was made, and individuals may have been disappointed. But the reality is that there are certain times in your life when people who are in your life who should have been there to support you, they didn't do the necessary work that they were supposed to do. So I was so glad that Iyanla helped her to process that hey, here you are, the 16-year-old, why are you taking all of the burden? And I also, because Iyanla could talk to her and say to her, I got pregnant at a young age, and I see you. So why do you have to take all the blame, and the father of the child doesn't have to take any of the blame? And I really appreciated that Iyanla was like, hey, let's do our work. Let's think about this. Let's really think about this. And really supported Kenitra, and to say, you made a choice. You made a choice, and there was a certain outcome. However, you were a little girl and you needed support, and you did not get the support that you needed. And so I was really appreciative that Iyanla really, really worked with her. I wish that I could have seen more of Miss Kenitra. And this may have been just because of editing. And I do understand that Lauren, who we're about to get into, was really depressed, and there was a lot of work that Iyanla had to do with Miss Lauren. So I do understand maybe more time was spent with Miss Lauren, or maybe it just was editing. They got to fit it into like maybe 48 minutes to tell all. And so maybe all of the work that was done with Miss Kenitra couldn't be shared. So I do understand that. So, but I would have loved to have seen more of her story. Really, really would have loved that. The next young woman, Miss Lauren, had been on her own, and I think since the age of 15. If I'm getting this a bit wrong, please forgive me. It's my first review. But Miss Lauren really, as you all could see, her affect was just, you could immediately tell that it's not only numbness that you have to have in the business that she's in, right? But you could also see that there was just a lot going on with her psychologically, and that she was shut down beyond the numbness that you have to just push through, that you have to have in order to push through the industry that she's in. So one of the things that I appreciated in this episode that Miss Iyanla did was the way in which she worked with Lauren, because she understood that Lauren, hey, needed support. But one thing that you have to give Lauren credit for, she didn't know, and she was confused. Sometimes it's true, we ask for certain things and then we get it and we don't know and we get scared, but she stayed in there. She stayed in there, and that's really, really powerful. I just have so much admiration and respect for these women, that even though just confused and wanting to say, Iyanla was like, why do you come to a television show if you don't want to be around camera? She was throwing up a lot of things. But she stayed with it. She stayed with it. And hats off to her. I don't know, at 27, I don't know if I would have had the same kind of under, the same kind of stick with it. But she did. And so hats off. And it was really wonderful to see in the end that there was a breakthrough that did start to occur. And when she took that breath, when Iyanla was trying to get her to get in contact with her pain and to really tell her story and what she wanted, right? Iyanla does that a lot, ask people what they want. She was able to breathe. And we know if you can take a breath, and the breath can lead you in the direction that you are supposed to go. If you have your breath, if you can just breathe and just stay with it, you can really tap into the things that you want. And you saw that happen with Lauren. Iyanla always talks about pathology, and it was interesting to learn that Lauren's mother, maybe not a commercial sex worker, however, she had been homeless, and so she had been out of the house most of Lauren's life. And here it was that Lauren made her existence in the street and had been on her own for a long time. So it was just exciting to see that these women were able to scratch the surface, and then made plans to go on to Texas to do further work. And I just pray that they were able to rise to the challenge. It's really, really difficult. Life is really, really difficult, and that they stay connected to their true and authentic voice. They had to kill their alter ego, Monroe and Tasha, who brought them a lot of who they're going to miss. And Monroe and Tasha gave them a lot of things, right? The savviness to be able to get through the difficult situations that they had to endure. But I do hope that they are able to be connected to their authentic self. And so they're remarkable women, and remarkable things can and will come from those two women. So I really, really look forward. I do hope, like in a year, that Iyanla will revisit them because they were pretty powerful women. They gave me a lot to think about because I haven't had to endure the level of pain and abandonment that they've had to experience. And I don't know if I could have been that bold, so I'm wishing them the best. They truly inspired me. Iyanla, I do want to say, did good work. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about Iyanla, and to each his own. Like I have no judgment around that. But what I do appreciate about Iyanla is that she looks at Black women, and I love the fact that she used the fragility of Black women. We're always portrayed as strong, 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 strong. But there is a lot of support that we need, and that we are strong Black women. I don't want to forget that. But we are vulnerable too, and that we need support. And I'm so thankful that Iyanla is taking the time and the opportunity to really concentrate on the lives of Black women that are often neglected um, in this society. And I really thank her for that. So this was my first review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I look forward to reviewing further Iyanla Fix My Lives, and I hope that you will join me. So God bless and peace, and I look forward to being with you next time. Bye.